part here is the frontal lobe. This side here, where the number 2 is, that would be the right parietal bone, and this would be the left parietal bone. Turning the skull the other way, this side here would be the occipital bone. This would be the left temporal bone, and this would be the right temporal bone. On the frontal bone, some of the markings are the frontal squama, also known as the forehead, the supraorbital margins lie under the eyebrows, so right about there. The orbits are right where the eyes would be, and this little line here, if you zoom in a little bit, that line you see there, that is the glabella, the flat area of the bone between the eyebrows. Also part of the frontal bone is the frontal sinus, which is this part right here, and also the anterior cranial fossa lies right in the frontal bone as well. Okay, so this line here would be the coronal suture, like a crown. This would be the sagittal suture. This would be the squamous suture. And this one here would be the lambdoid suture. On the occipital bone, there is also the posterior cranial fossa, which is here in this area. This is the foramen magnum, through which the inferior part of the brain connects with the spinal cord. These here are the occipital condyles, which allows for one to nod in a yes. And this part here, that is the external occipital protuberance. This hole here is the carotid canal. On the temporal bone, this part here is the zygomatic process. On the skull, it would be this part here. Going back to the paper one, the mandibular fossa is this part here. The mastoid process is here. This would be the middle cranial fossa. This part here is the jugular foramen.
Okay, so for the phrenoid bone, this is the body, and then right here we have the superior orbital this is the phrenoidal sinus, and right above it, this is where the sella turica is. Cribriform plate. So right here, it is called the ethmoidal sinuses. This region here is the ethmoid bone, and right here is the crista galli, and this plate would be called the crista galli.
Down here, we have the mandibular angle. Right there is the mandibular notch, so it kind of looks like a half circle. And this is the coronoid process. Again, kind of looks like a notch. One is the mandible, so it goes all the way around. Two would be here from the top to the bottom is the alveolar processes. So from the top to the bottom. Right here is the palatine bone, and then next to it is the process. And this little area would be where the maxillary sinuses are. Superior orbital fissure